For far too long, we've been told as moms that if we just get more organized or find the right system, things will just get easier. But in reality, more structure, more storage bins, and more to-do lists aren't the answer. The reason you're feeling so stuck isn't necessarily that you're doing it wrong. Chances are you're trying to do too much. So this episode, I want us to focus on giving yourself permission to let go. Not just of physical clutter in your home, but of the mental load, the expectations, and pretty much anything that's making life harder than it needs to be. Now, before we dive into the details of exactly how we're going to make this happen for you, I want to make sure to extend an invitation to the Simple Home Reimagined Summit that's coming up March 1st through the 3rd. It's a completely free event, all online, and it's going to be full of conversations around how to create a home that actually supports you without pressuring you to do more. I'll be speaking about how to detox your home of all the sources of mom guilt, but there are going to be over 20 different presenters, all sharing exactly what moms can do to make life at home feel more supportive and meaningful. The host of the summit, Mia Danielle, is going to be talking about all the different home systems you can automate as a modern mom. I'm particularly excited for Lauren Tingley's talk on taming the laundry monster, and Erica Kirk is going to be talking about her 30-minute method to declutter 99% of toys. But I also appreciate that some speakers are focusing on how to nurture yourself in your home environment. Audrey Sutton Mills is going to be talking all about what you can do to create a sacred space to nurture your spirit. Emily Elizabeth May is going to be sharing all about what we can do to create an intentional dream wardrobe. So the range of topics is so supportive, and for this to be a free event over the weekend that you can watch on demand feels too good to be true. So I'd hate for you to miss out on this opportunity. So if you're feeling the pull to simplify and make your home a place that you really love being in, make sure that you save your spot by visiting this episode description. I've dropped the link there. You can also DM me on Instagram at Mom Life Handbook. I'd be happy to share the link there with you if that feels easier. The good news is you don't have to wait until March to get started. I think a lot of our focus in that summit is going to be on the importance of letting go. And so I wanted to take time today to help us all prepare for that mindset of it's okay to let go, because it can be so hard to give ourselves permission to do that. Now, I talk about this all the time, but I think it bears repeating. Moms have been conditioned to carry everything, physically, mentally, emotionally. Society praises the do-it-all moms, and it can really make it feel wrong to let go of the things that aren't actually working for us. When I think about the things that might be cluttering your mind, your home, your life, it's not just about stuff being in the way. It's about the weight that comes with it. There's the unrealistic expectations that cause us to tell ourselves things like, yeah, but I should be able to handle all of this. Or the mental overload, feeling like there's so much to track that it's hard to even tell what takes top priority. And then the emotional attachments that go along with everything. We are constantly asking ourselves, what if I need this later? Or I spent a lot of money on this, or this reminds me of a special moment in my life. So that struggle to let go is very real, but it's causing unnecessary extra weight that only brings us down further. And because that conditioning tells us that we have to do more in order to manage everything, I want us to disrupt that pattern. And I want us to recognize when that conditioning is kicking into high drive and prompting us to figure out what we could do more of to manage it all. And instead of doing more, start flipping the script and thinking about what you could do to subtract, to do less, and finally get a sense of clarity. So what do I mean when I say that we've been told to do more in order to manage everything that we have going on? If we're feeling like our home is disorganized, what are we told to do? Go to Target, buy more bins. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you probably just need to organize your time better. Go buy a new planner. Or if you're struggling to manage all of your routines, it's time for a new checklist. Doing more doesn't always equal better. It often just adds more to manage. So if you want real change to those trickier parts of life, you need to start thinking about what you can do to remove the excess that's making things harder than they need to be in the first place. When you can subtract from everything that you're trying to manage, it's going to give you more capacity. because you're spending less energy on all the things that need to be managed. It's going to give you more clarity. Fewer choices means less mental fatigue, and it's going to give you a greater sense of freedom. Trapping yourself in systems that don't work for you don't feel good. So instead of asking, what do I need to add? I want you to ask yourself, what can I let go of? And I want you to think about this not in terms of letting go of stuff necessarily. This isn't just about going a fully minimalist lifestyle. What I want you to focus on is what are the things that are holding you back? What I want you to focus on is freeing up your energy so you can be the mom that you want to be, rather than constantly trying to manage the expectations of the mom that everyone's telling you you should be. So the first step in the process of letting go, start recognizing the shoulds that are coming up in your life. What are you holding on to because you should? This could mean stuff. So what are the things that when you look at them, you'd say to yourself, I should hold on to this because it was a gift? Or emotionally, I should be able to do this without any help. Or even mentally, I should be more productive. Beginning to recognize those shoulds is going to be the first step in recognizing where you can release some of the expectations that you've been holding on to without even realizing it. Now, as you start to make that list of all the shoulds that come up, like maybe you just keep it in your notes app on your phone, or you just keep a mental list running, whatever feels easiest. I want you to think about all the energy that's going into that. The time, the thoughts, the effort, the money, all of it adds up. And so as you start to identify these shoulds, I want you to really ask yourself, when this should comes up in my life, is it adding to the quality of my life, or is it draining me? Does this bring me ease or stress? Does this align with what really matters to me, or is this feeling forced? Would I miss it if it were no longer a part of my life? When we reframe letting go as making space for what really matters, it becomes a gift instead of something that you're losing. And I want you to remember to really start small with this. This does not have to be all or nothing. In fact, that's why I think trying to go all minimalist in your home is sure to backfire. Instead, we need to just take small intentional steps that gradually lead toward the change that you're hoping to achieve. It's so hard to imagine yourself in that end result that you couldn't possibly anticipate everything that needs to happen from A to Z in order to get you there. So I always recommend take it slow and personalize your process. So in the week ahead, choose one thing to let go of. It could be a physical object that's just taking up space in your home. It could be an obligation that you resent committing to, or a belief that's keeping you stuck. Start with that one thing. When you start to key in on the things that you personally want to let go of, it's going to be a lot clearer to understand why that actually matters to you, and feel so much easier to let go of it as a result, rather than just getting rid of it because some expert told you that that's what you needed to do. So if the idea of starting to let go of some of the things that have been holding you back or overwhelming you feels encouraging, feels like the small but meaningful shift that you need to start making in your life, I really want you to consider joining me at the Simple Home Reimagined Summit. This is not going to be a bunch of speakers talking about decluttering your home from top to bottom and completely overhauling your life. What I love is that each speaker is so intentional about making small but meaningful changes that are going to make such a difference in how you experience day-to-day life as a mom. These are all experts who bring such a practical approach to home life in a sustainable, low-pressure way. This is not going to be a big lineup of productivity hacks, but actually real ways that are going to make life feel lighter. So if you've been wishing for a home that feels supportive, not just organized, this is the summit where you're going to find practical, adaptable strategies to make that happen. It's completely free, so if you want to join, just click the link in the show notes and save your spot. Just remember, you don't need to wait for the right time or someone else's permission to let go. And you definitely don't need to do more to fix how you're feeling. I'd love to know what one thing is that you're releasing in the week ahead. Be sure to share it as a comment or a review of this podcast episode, because I want to hear what you're doing to make life feel lighter for you. And I think that for other listeners to be able to see what you are doing to let go of some of the expectations in your life that are just unnecessary will also be an inspiration for them to be able to do the same. So be sure to let me know what you plan to do. And don't forget, sign up for the Simple Home Reimagined Summit on March 1st through the 3rd. The link to sign up is in the episode description. I'll see you there. Bye for now.